So, hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Mm, First, without with going to topic, please subscribe, share my YouTube channel. Without delay, today's topic is what are the factors determining the real wages? What are the factors determining the real wages? First of all, let's see what is real wages. Real wages are those the amount, the income which are earned by the individuals. Basically, it is the income which an individual, laborer or employer which can earn besides his income, besides his employment income, that is tend to be a real wage. The amount, it is basically the amount which is getting is monthly, leaving that amount. Beside that, what are the facilities the an individual or an employer can getting the facilities? Those facilities are known as real wages. Basically, it is the facilities which are gained by an individual besides his income, that is called as real wages. Real wages. Real wages are the amount of goods and services that can be purchased by a consumer through his money is called as real wage. Real wages refers to the amount of goods and services purchased with the money is tend to be real wages. Basically, it is the purchasing power received through money wage. Real wages are dependent on the general price level. Here you can see that real wages refers to the amount of goods and services purchased with money is tend to be a real wages. The income which is earned by an individual or employer, beside that income which is getting, that is tend to be a real wage. Here it is the purchasing power received through money wage. Real wages are dependent on general price level. How the real wages are dependent on general price level? Here you can see that if if an employer earning a less amount, he is spending high on the purchasing the commodities, then it is tend to be low real wage. When the general prices are higher, real wages are low. When the general price falls, the real wages tend to be higher. When the general price is higher, real wages are low. When the general price are low to the commodities, real wages are tend to be higher in this case. Now let's see what are the factors determining the real wages. First one, method of payment. In this determinant, normally the laborers get some additional benefit with their management, such as the additional benefits such as free lunch, traveling facilities, which they can provide buses for their employees to travel from different places, providing free lunch during afternoon in the factory or in employment places, and such as medical facilities and schooling for their children. These are the some of the additional benefits which an employer can get through their management. Such facilities are reducing the money consumed, the spending. These facilities which leads to decrease in spending of an employer or laborer or workers. Such leads to increase in real wage of a worker, laborer or an employee. Such when these facilities are provided by their management, the amount of spending on these facilities by the worker, laborer or an employer, which leads to decrease, such leads to increase in real wage of an employer. Now let's see the second point. Purchasing power of money. Purchasing power of money determines the real wage. The purchasing power of money determines the real wage. The purchasing power of the money which determines the real wage, it depends on the general price level. It depends on general price level. How I can tell you right now? Purchasing power of money, it determines the real wage. The real wage, it depends on the general price level. On the general price level. If the general price, if the general prices of the commodity is higher, here you can see, if a consumer, if an employer earning 20,000 rupees, he is spending the total of 50,000 on his monthly spendings, monthly spending such as spending on groceries, rent, and other expenses, which is spending 15,000 out and 5,000 was his savings, which leads to for necessary requirements it can be saved. When he is spending total 15,000 on his monthly spending, when the prices are tend to be increased by plus 10,000, he has to spend total 25,000, which is earning less of 20. When his earnings are less, when his general prices are higher, which leads to decrease in real wage. This is the purchasing power of money which determines the real wage. It is the real wage will always depend on the general price level. When the general prices are higher, the real wages are tend to be lower. Next, see the third one. Nature of employment. It is a third determinant, nature of employment. If the employment place is dangerous, risky, or it can lead to reduce the lifespan or leads to mental and physical health impacts. If the working place is dangerous, risky, and it leads to decrease the lifespan and the physical and mental disturbing of an health of an employer, where in such cases, in such places, the money wage, the money wage of a worker is tend to be higher, but real wages are lower. In the such places, the management is going to spend high on the employment, which it leads to it is a danger and risky place. No one is going to work on such places. That leads to management pays a higher amount, higher salary to the workers and employers, which leads to decrease in real wage. It is a third determinant of an real wages. Let's see the fourth one. Future prospects. If the organization is reputed or having goodwill in the market, if the organization is reputed and having a goodwill in the market, and if there is an assumption to the organization having assumption that the organization can grow high in future, such leads to attract workers to work at lower salary in current situations. Which leads to decrease in real wages. Future prospects. If the organization is reputed or having a goodwill in the market, if the organization assumed that if the organization is going to be successful and highly reputed and success in the future ahead, in such organization the people wants to join more. If the salary income is lower, the brand that is has a goodwill in the market and the reputation which leads to join by the people, such people with lower income in such organization, which leads to decrease in real wages. You can clearly see that if the organization is going to be successful in the future or reputed or future, it can be having a more goodwill and entrepreneurs can be attracted in that organization, people wanted to join such organization. If the income will be lower, also the people wanted to join in that organization, which can lead to decrease in real wages of the people. It is a fourth determinant. Let's see the fifth one. Regularity of an employment. If the work is regular, continuous, the real wages are tend to be higher. If a person or an employer having a regular and continuous work in any organization, the organization has a plan to increase its income, and also the facilities can be provided to such regular and continuous workers, which leads to tend to be higher of the real wages. And you can see the another one, if the worker is irregular, discontinuous, real wages are tend to be lower. If the worker is not properly attending to his work, he is discontinuing the work, such leads to decrease in his income and decrease in his real income. It is the fifth determinant. Whereas if the worker working continuous and is regular to this organization or management or is regular to this work, the management can tend to provide the higher salary and the real wages are to be provided, such as free busing, lunch, such as facilities will be provided by the management, which leads to tend to be increase in the real wages. If the worker is irregular or discontinuous, which leads to decrease in real income, real wage of an employer. These are the 5 determinants of the real wages. Thank you. That's all for the day. Before leaving, please do share, subscribe my YouTube channel. Thank you.